from your listening device all the way into your agent's psyche. It's Real Estate Between the Lines with Brian Lee. Teaching you things you didn't know you needed to know to help you become a legendary agent and turn your clients into raving fans.
Welcome to Real Estate Between the Lines.
Christian!
Are we starting this? Whoa, sorry.
No countdown on that one. Just go.
I am your host, Brian Lee. Thank you for joining Real Estate Between the Lines. I'm all about helping one agent at a time. Okay, let's move on. With me is my lovely co-host, Cate, the other producer, Christian, and with us today, back again, because we didn't scare her off the first time.
Fantastic. Wow, I can't believe you had me back. That's awesome.
Well, it feels like you never left.
I know,
it's like
right?
Nobody,
nobody else wants to come
change
in.
Either. Same
You're wearing the same outfit. That's so weird.
That's my lucky outfit.
A week later, here
it's
we
your
are.
podcasting outfit.
What a coincidence. This time I put pants on. Dang it! Why did you do that?
That's okay. I got it. Well, hey now. Welcome to episode 44. We are interviewing the lovely, the talented Miss Kim Storen with Storen Financial. So last week we had her on. We have like a two-part series. She talked about end-of-year stuff, went into a lot of great information. If you missed that episode, please go back and listen to it. Just some great stuff talking about quarterlies. Am I selling it yet? I mean, it sounds great.
Taxes are fascinating.
Yeah.
But she had some really good information that agents really should think about. And so today we had her back because she has 10 more things. Was it 50, 75, maybe 100 more things?
We're going to limit it because we only have 30 minutes.
You can talk all day on this stuff.
I know, I could.
You're very good at it.
She can talk 28 more minutes. Just real quick.
Thanks,
punch in here.
We'll be counting you down. When he starts using his fingers.
It's like too long. I got in trouble because the last one was too long.
It's okay. It's okay.
Kate never complains.
Oh, please. Moving on.
Oh, shoot. So we have our song
I was saying,
of the episode.
Wait, hold on, wait.
The song
There we
of
go.
the episode.
The song, the episode song, yes.
Whether it's rock and roll, country, or early hip hop, you know there's no way we're gonna pay to play
Our weekly song. I was trying to think of a good song,
Someone's too frugal.
and I found a good song. Who does not love Johnny Cash?
Oh, I love
I mean,
Johnny Cash.
even if you're not a country
Johnny
fan or anything like that, Johnny Cash is just legendary.
Yes.
I mean, I completely
Absolutely.
associate with him. I'm in his
Because
mindset
he's a
because
legend.
he's a legend just like I am.
Christian, didn't you see him
What?
live?
Did you ever
No,
see
I
him
never
live
saw
down in
Johnny
Nashville?
Cash.
No?
No.
Okay.
That was actually
No,
a
I saw
question.
Tommy Cash,
Tommy Cash.
which is a long story.
The lesser known of the Cashes.
Well, when Johnny was having substance abuse issues, Tommy would do all his gigs as on a Johnny Cash act.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that weird? It's
That
kind of
is-
weird
that
in a
is
certain
weird.
way.
It's
weird, but kinda
Because he
cool.
would make all these, commitments,
Yeah.
and then he would, like George Jones was famous for never showing up. And
Yeah.
same with Johnny
I didn't
Cash.
know that.
Yeah.
How about
so
that?
Tommy
Tommy would
Cash
step
would tour,
in.
and he would do the whole
The-
Man in Black thing and everything. It was really strange, except he wasn't intimidating or mean in any way.
Was his voice really similar?
Certainly not
Did he sound
Johnny.
really?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, Johnny Cash.
So
yes.
Johnny Cash had a song called After Taxes. It's off of the album I Would Like to See You Again. It was released in April of 1978, track 8.
After Taxes?
After Taxes.
Isn't that the best day in the world for you?
It goes this way. The lyrics start off.
I ain't got no money.
I feel so good come payday. I think of all the things I'm going to buy. When I pick up my pay, don't you know? But then they hand me that little brown envelope. I peep inside. Lord, I lose hope. 'Cause from all those total wages earned down to the net amount that's due, I feel the painful sense of the loss between the two.
Those are really the lyrics?
Those are really the lyrics.
Wow.
So profound. Kim's really shook up over here.
I don't even know what to say
You
to
should play that in the lobby at the office.
You gotta hear Tommy sing it.
I need to have that rolling on a video.
Tommy was a little less aggressive.
Yeah, it was
about
less aggressive, more friendly.
It felt good when he sang it. Like, I don't mind
Yeah,
paying
more like an
taxes now.
IRS agent. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that is the song of the episode. So we'll
like
have
it.
that in the show notes. Hopefully you can listen to it. I've never heard the song, but you know Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, the Rambler
Maybe
himself.
we can find
He
a
is.
version of it where Tommy's singing
That's
it
right,
too.
exactly.
I doubt
Maybe.
it.
All right.
If anybody's an Eric Church fan, you could YouTube Eric Church at the ACM Awards, I think 2020. And he did a tribute to Johnny Cash that was actually very good.
Interesting.
He'd be a good tribute to Johnny.
Yeah.
Cash.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
that same vibe.
Eric Church's got that vibe.
Yeah, he's
you
got
know,
that vibe.
Hardcore
Yeah.
Yeah.
in your face.
Does he wear all black?
More of an I'm serious and I drink a lot kind of vibe.
Yeah. He's kind of a-
Substantive
He wears the
abuse.
teardrop glasses, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
kind of
kind
the
of the Jack
sunglasses.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
crowd.
If you ever seen Eric Church in concert, he plays for 3 to 4 hours
Oh,
with
wow.
no opening act.
Wow. He
And
rocks it then.
he does not allow the people, like the sellers, to buy a bunch of tickets up front.
the scalping and all that?
He manages all that himself.
How about that?
So he gets real fans that maybe
That
may not
wanna
be able
attend
to
it.
afford,
Yeah.
Exactly.
$10,000
Because he wants
ticket.
his fans at
The
his
working
shows.
man.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah, Eric Church he should be Entertainer of the Year every year, but he's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
He's-
obviously we know he has your vote.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll have
It
to
almost-
check
He
him
just
out.
isn't part of the, he doesn't play the game.
Yeah.
And so when you don't play the game,
yeah. Yep. Ticketmaster and all
Yeah.
that. If you're not
Yeah.
paying the promoters, they don't like you as much.
Yeah. So
Always
Brian, I hate to
somebody
say
at the-
this, but she just hijacked your song of the day segment.
She totally did again.
That's
she did it on the last one.
okay.
gosh.
Do we
She's
have a
our
sounder for
guest.
Kim? Whether it's rock and roll or Eric Church, Kim will pay to play.
He paid me to plug him.
Whoa.
Hey now.
Well then, all right.
So we didn't scare Kim off. She's back. So last week we talked about preparing for taxes. Kim, do you have anything else you want us to know about you before we get into the questions, before we get the hard-hitting, hard copy things of...
Other than I love taxes and could talk about taxes for days and days and days.
You
She
can.
is
You can.
serious
And
when
Eric
she says
Church.
that.
You love Eric Church.
And
Yeah.
Eric Church,
We
yeah.
learned that.
I do love working. No, just kidding.
You snorted.
You didn't even mean that.
Can you take that out?
Did you hear the silence there?
You tried to mean it.
I love it.
Did you hear the crickets with it?
I work with my husband, and Brian Seeley, one of these days, I think we should write a book about working with our spouses.
Oh, my gosh. That would be an interesting...
And then Greg and I can write a book
Yeah,
as
and then
well.
you can edit it.
That's
I know.
a deal.
She's not editing
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I would love to write a book about how to work with your spouse. I just
Yeah.
don't have the gift to gab like
Me?
you guys have. I tend to be a little more succinct
You
in
do
my
if
writing.
it's about taxes, though.
Oh, but I could talk for days.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
I would just love to have, people. I think there's a lot of people that work with their spouses and they need to have a little.
Well, I think it helps
guidance.
to not do the exact same thing.
Yes,
You
yeah.
guys do things that complement each other.
At Storen
Same here.
Financial, we have taxes. We have the tax side and we have
Yeah.
the investment side.
Absolutely.
And
Greg
Greg's
runs the
investment.
investment side and I run the tax side.
So
And
you
so-
are a
And
you're-
good blend together.
But he is still head honcho, big cheese, big number one.
well, as the man should
And I
be.
know that.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
And so that's what works for us.
You don't need to write a book. That's all we need to say. Let
That's
the
right,
man
ladies. Let
feel
the,
like
let the man
he's...
do what we
Yeah.
do.
Somebody
He's
be in
in
charge.
charge.
And-
This is an interesting fact.
Yes.
On our tax returns, we always put the man first. It says taxpayer spouse.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you looked at old tax returns, it said husband wife.
Nice.
Now it says taxpayer spouse, and we always put the male first, not because we're chauvinistic, but just because as a company we try to standardize it.
Yeah.
But we really got thrown for a loop 3 or 4 years ago when you had same-sex marriage.
Yes.
Now we really don't know who to put first on the
Yeah.
tax return.
What if you just alphabetize it first by first name?
That's a good idea. Usually there's always one person that comes in that's kind of like
Yeah.
in
The
charge
dom.
of the
Yeah, yeah,
finances.
exactly.
So
Yep,
let's
yep.
Brian
That's-
put them
Seeley
first.
here.
But a
Yes.
lot of times we'll get tax returns in from new clients and the female is listed 1st and we switch it. And some people will take offense to that.
No, I've had clients, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. And it's... So I just
It's all about
asked.
empowering women.
Yeah. I was really surprised because
Excuse me.
when we bought our
I'm
house.
kind of hungry. Go make me a sandwich.
Put the mustard on and leave it for about 20, 30 minutes.
Right?
Just make
No
sure that the
cheese.
cheese isn't on.
No,
No
cheese.
cheese.
I was really surprised when we bought our house. They listed me first. They didn't ask.
How about
So,
that? Yeah.
interesting.
They knew.
Yeah.
Who's in charge here?
But on the mortgage, they put Greg first.
Eh.
So,
Maybe they
It's
went by
all still,
alphabetically.
it's all
That's
still
all.
equal.
yeah.
So, Kim, we had you back. You have some things that you wanted to share with us. I really don't have any questions. I'm just going to turn the microphone over to you like I did last
Taxes.
week.
Oh, let's
And-
talk about tax topics. We'll just talk about little things about taxes. Let's
Yes.
talk about tax tips.
Please, we'd love
Okay.
to hear about your tips.
If you are in real estate,
Yes.
big one is mileage. Mileage. Now, usually when I ask people how many miles they drove for their business, they look up at the ceiling.
And pull a number out of the sky.
Pull a number out of the sky. But there are awesome apps right now that you can use to track your miles, like Mile IQ. It is a little creepy, though, because it kind of follows you wherever you go, and it creates that little...
Like it knows when you are driving somewhere and you stop, and then it'll pop up, and it's like, was this trip for business or personal?
And so you swipe right or swipe left on business or personal, but...
It's like Tinder.
Yeah, QuickBooks does that now.
And
they have a
QuickBooks,
mileage tracker where you turn it on for your location and your movement and everything.
Yeah.
They track your movement.
Yeah.
When you get to the end, they ask you if it was a business trip. Or
So it is a little creepy, but...
Yeah.
For a lot of people that don't want to write it down every day.
The old
write
daily
down,
log, yeah.
You know, at the very least, and not that I suggest this, but at the very least, if you wrote down your mileage on the first day of the year, which is your beginning and ending, your beginning for the new year, your ending for the old year, at least you know what you have to work with.
Yes.
Now, if you ever got audited by the IRS, most people don't keep their gas receipts, but if you go by mileage, the IRS makes you prove your mileage somehow, either by gas receipts or they will pull your oil change receipts. Like if you go to...
And it'll look at the mileage.
And it has your mileage on there.
Okay.
And so that'll prove like how many miles you're
You
driving.
are actually just helping a lot of agents who will not even use the app because there are too many that won't. And
so even if you just wrote it down one time,
Yeah.
but people think that as long as they just have a calendar and they write down their miles, that the IRS will take it. They won't. They actually want proof of your mileage through gas receipts.
Okay.
will like Mile IQ or QuickBooks, will that
Yep,
that
that counts.
suffices?
Yep.
Okay.
That suffices.
Good to
yeah.
know. Good to know.
Meals and entertainment.
No, not entertainment.
Yes.
Come on, I know this one. It's not
Entertainment.
entertainment. It's
Slap a
only
logo
meals.
on it, and then it's
'Cause, I mean,
it's advertising.
The
Yeah.
strip clubs that Cate used to go to all the time, we couldn't take those as
That was
deductions.
income, thank you.
Oh, that's right. It was income. I always forgot that receipt. It was a pay stub, not an expense.
No pay stub. It was cash, baby.
Think Circle Slash on entertainment now. That
Yep.
went away in 2018.
Yes.
And it's still gone.
Still gone. I can't believe they've kept it away, but no concerts, no golfing, no sports tickets. And I really thought it would affect the like the sports teams, like the Colts.
Yeah, people buying season tickets
Yeah,
and
and
whatnot.
buying the suites and stuff, but I don't think it really has. I think people still go even though you can't deduct it. So no entertainment ever is deductible, but meals still are deductible. And I know a lot of people ask, what if I'm gone all day long? Can I take my lunch? And you can't do that. You can't take your own lunch. But if you bought lunch for somebody, you get 50% of it. If you're traveling for work, let's say you go to a seminar and you're overnight, then you can't take your own meal, 50%.
All meals are 50%.
All meals are 50%, unless it's for your office. Like during tax season, we buy food quite a bit for our employees so that they can continue to work. So if you buy meals for your employees so that they can continue to do their job, then that is 100%.
Well,
That's 100%.
100%.
That I was not aware of.
Okay.
Interesting. So
Well,
you
I guess
categorize that differently then? I'm asking for
Yeah,
for a
because
friend.
most people now, like if you have QuickBooks or something, there's really like the category that pops up and it says meals and entertainment.
Yeah.
I make them pull that out because if you put entertainment, we can't take any of it.
Yes.
Meals are 50%. But if you have office meals, then I have a separate category in my QuickBooks where I do
Good
office
to
meals.
know.
our assistant's getting lunch every day, and I'm going to eat some of it.
Yeah, there you go.
She's really hungry.
we're ordering her a
She's for
huge
3 or
meal.
4 people.
but a lot of like mortgage underwriters or a lot of mortgages, right?
They can't leave the office.
They can't leave
they're
the office.
Working,
Yeah. So if you buy them meals, it's
Okay.
100%.
How about that?
Not everybody
Good
knows
to
that.
know. No, I did not know that. You just taught me something. If that's even possible, you just
Somebody
taught me
who
something.
knows everything.
Everything.
Wow.
I always put the fudge factor. I'm like at 99.6% of knowing everything. I still have-
99.3 now.
yeah, apparently it is. I mean,
Well, it just went back up.
Yeah. Oh,
Went
it did
back
go back
up
up,
because
yeah.
you
because
just
I just
learned
learned. I
something.
learned one of the things I didn't know. So.
Yes.
And then I always have I have a lot of, and it tends to be realtors that want to go to Florida to look at condos or talk to somebody, and they want to write off the whole trip. So the rule is that if you're taking a trip, what is the primary purpose of that trip? Is the primary purpose business or is the primary purpose personal? And so if you have a primary purpose of your trip is personal, then you can only take the small amount that is business and write that off. Like if you drove miles to a condo that you're going to look at, or you drove miles to an office that you're going to go visit, you can take that. Or if you took somebody out for a lunch, you could take that. But you can't write off your hotel, your airline, anything like that. If the primary purpose of the trip is business, then you can write off your airfare, your hotel, the day before, the day after. If you do a side trip, then you can't take, that night in the hotel. So if you do a seminar that's like a Wednesday to a Friday, but you want to stay through Sunday, then you can take your hotel Friday night because it's the day of, but that Saturday night you couldn't take your hotel.
Do you have to prove the days of the seminar or whatever?
You'd want to keep your agenda.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
And a lot of, or something that proved when it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I really, in 20 some years of doing taxes, I have been on 2 full-blown audits. One was random because they do random audits where they create their databases on averages. And then I had one that really was an audit that I had to actually go downtown for. And then since then...
I don't know if you want to finish that.
But anymore, it's just letter audits. The IRS doesn't have the time to send agents out. So anymore, the audits are, they'll send Brian and Cate a letter that says, hey, send us the receipts for line 28 of your Schedule C.
And in 10 seconds, he'll produce them.
And he will produce them.
Yes.
Which would be nice.
Because he's amazing.
And you copy it and you mail it in. Those are most of the audits now because they can pinpoint problems on a tax return, and they pinpoint lines that don't make sense on a tax return, and a computer can spit out an audit, and then somebody can sit at a desk and go through your receipts and say yay or nay.
Well, that's just the things that so many people don't know, especially. I mean, we're in a computerized digital age. There's algorithms, there's bots and everything like that. And you mentioned earlier is that it is almost creepy, the things they look at. They look for red flags in your tax returns that on average an agent has, so many miles, so many deductions, so many things. And if you are really outside of the range of that, it's an automatic red flag. Or if in the past you have always stuck with this average and now you're really high above that, they're just checking on it. And it could be actually legitimate because there are reasons why, this year I did a lot more, so I have that thing, but still they're looking for red flags, and there's the algorithms that they have set up and all that. It's a lot more, as Kim just said, computer-based, where it's not human-based. There's a human that will ultimately look at it, but first it's the computer that says that, based upon all these different lines, and we're comparing you to all the other millions of agents that we audit and what you've done, and we've got a red flag, show us what you did.
Yes. And I need to interrupt for a minute.
Oh, great. We were on a roll, too.
Well.
Thanks.
Oh, is that...
Yeah.
Picking up speed, things are gonna be great. Wait.
Side note tangent.
Thanks.
It's a side note tangent with Kate.
If you guys haven't noticed, can you go to the aerial shot?
This one?
Yes. We have a little visitor joining us.
Yay.
So,
Mr. Jack-Jack.
This is little Jack. So we all have work pups, all of us, and I thought I'd introduce you to little Jack-Jack. He says hi to us every time we arrive, and we have Rey and Mer. We'll post a little picture of them. They look very similar.
Yeah,
Rey
we'll
and
come
Mer,
up here in the video here in a second.
Rey and Mer look a lot similar.
But they're what? What kind of dogs are they?
Yorkie Doodle-ish.
Yeah, Yorkie Doodle. Yeah.
Something like that. What is he?
He's Maltese.
Maltese.
Yep.
Maltese. Well, in Kim's office has 2 pups there, Churchie and Tank.
Churchie and Tank.
And Churchie has his own blog, right?
Churchie has her own blog.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Her, sorry.
Well, you never can tell.
I'm not looking, but...
You're not?
No, not at that dog.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
My husband only likes female dogs.
Oh.
What a... Oh my God. I'm saying dog. This is not a cursing. No. Talking about female dogs.
And Tank is a female?
No, Tank is a boy.
Okay.
But Tank isn't our dog.
Okay. Well, Churchie always greets us when we come to the
Churchie's a
office.
sweetheart.
Yes, she is a doll.
Poor little Churchie. She's awesome.
Yes.
She just sits in a chair and does nothing all day
Hard
long.
Hard life.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can get people to send us pictures of their work dogs.
Picture your pup dog. Work pup, I guess.
We'll put this out there and get everybody to share theirs.
Absolutely.
And here's a little treat for Jack-Jack.
All right, we closing the segment?
Yeah, we're done.
Thank goodness.
There we go.
Can we get back on track?
Speed, things are gonna be
No.
great.
I mean, it was about dogs, so I'm not entirely mad.
Side note tangent.
It's a side note tangent with Kate.
Okay.
Dogs can never be a dependent on your tax return. On a side note.
Another side note tangent.
Yeah.
Always there to kill the party.
I know, right?
It's all about taxes, I'm telling you. It doesn't matter.
Can you
Every
write
conversation.
off medical expenses on a dog?
No, yes, you can if it's a seeing eye dog or a medical dog.
Okay.
Okay.
So some sort of a service
But even a therapy
animal.
or service dog, you can't write that off as
Yeah.
dependent, though.
Not as a dependent, no. But you can write off the medical.
Most people
cool.
like their dogs more than their kids.
Yeah.
Nobody in particular.
But
I'm not
dogs
speaking for.
love you unconditionally, too.
Right.
People,
You know, I saw a study yesterday where dogs actually can make you happy.
Well,
They've
that's
probably
true.
spent a lot of money on that study to tell you that dogs can make you happy.
Yeah. Duh.
No. I could have done it if they just give me the $1 million to spend on a study. I can tell you. Yep,
Yes.
dogs.
Let me ask a bunch of people on Facebook.
Yes.
Yep, we all love our dogs. There you go. Thanks for the $1 million. So what would have been the deduction on that $1 million? Anyway, what other things do you have for us that you...
What did we talk about? We talked about miles. We talked about entertainment. Let's talk about, here's my favorite saying. And if I had one client, my client makes me say this to him every year. Don't spend $1 to save 30 cents in taxes.
Yes.
Which client makes you say that? Because I've heard this before about Kohl's cash and coupons.
Same principle.
Famous
Same
Kohl's
Same
cash.
principle. Gosh.
A lot of people at the end of the year, they want to like spend a bunch of money so they don't have to pay taxes. But if you're spending a bunch of money,
You're just spending a bunch of
you're
money.
still-
you're spending a bunch of money
of
out
money.
of your pocket that's gone, but you're going to save, 30 cents of that on taxes? I have a lot, my construction guys, and women, they love to do this. They love to go buy big pieces of equipment that sit in their driveway. A big Caterpillar thing that has a little scoopy thing that they don't, or a Bobcat thingy that's, $30,000 and it's
That's the technical term for it. If you go,
Yeah,
if you
scoopy
go,
thingy.
if you go to
Yeah.
Bobcat, make sure you ask for the scoopy thing.
Yeah, scoopy thingy.
the scoopy thingy
They
that
love that.
that digs holes.
Yeah, scoopy
So-
thingy that digs holes.
Or sits in a driveway and doesn't
Sits in
get
a driveway.
used.
So you just spent $30,000 out of your pocket, which saved you $9,000 in tax, which it did save you money. Did save you tax, but it didn't save you money. So a lot of people at the end of the year, they'll do bonuses to their employees. I tell them, if you're going to buy something because it will help you, but don't buy something just to spend the money. You're better off to pay the $30 in tax than to spend the $100 on.
But this is also where projection can help.
Yes.
And you can plan like, okay, I know I'm going to move offices next year, and I know I'm going to have a lot of expenses this year. Are some of those expenses maybe I could take this year instead? I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, and always thinking about, how does your income? Maybe you had a year where you sold $2 million homes, and you have a big year and a lot of commissions coming in. Then let's buy it. Let's upgrade your laptop. Let's maybe you buy a car. Everyone wants to buy a car. Which
Yes.
buying a car isn't always as fabulous as it seems, because cars are limited by the IRS of what you can take. If you buy a car that is over 6,000 gross vehicle weight, which you can Google that. I think there's only like 7 or 8 of them out there. It's a Hummer. It's a Infiniti Q56,
Is a Tesla one of
an
those?
Escalade.
Because those
maybe
are
the
heavy.
Porsche Taycan.
Oh, please say no. 'Cause I don't want that.
So there's only a few out there. But if you buy a car that's over 6,000 gross vehicle weight, then you can take up to 25,000 in 1 year. But it hurts you years after that. Usually you're better off to take mileage, because mileage, you get 58 cents a mile. You make money on mileage.
What if
But-
you buy a new car every year?
Well, but then you've sold a car, and when you sell that car, you've got to recapture all that.
What if I
Deductions.
give it
Yep,
to my
depreciation.
husband, and then when he's done with it, he gives it to our kid, and then to the other kid, and then we sell it?
But we're taking it off your books.
This is what I
because
deal
it
with
became
all
a
the time,
personal,
Kim.
It became a personal car, and you cannot slap a sticker on the side of your car and say it's 100% business.
It's advertising, isn't it?
No. Well, the sticker, $100 for the sticker.
Is there any advantage to leasing versus buying in terms of business, or does it
I
not
get
matter?
that question a lot, and it really depends on the lease, and I hate to say
Yeah.
it depends. Okay, I just said it.
Or
It
just in
depends.
general, I
That's a
guess.
lot.
But lease, you do get to take the percentage. If you drive your car 60% for business, you still have to track your miles. So if you track, if you do 60% of your, then you get 60% of your lease payment
Right.
as a deduction. So look at that figure versus taking miles at 58 cents a mile versus taking a car that you buy. If you buy a car that's not 6,000 gross vehicle weight, then you're limited to $11,000 a year of a write-off times the percentage you use it for business, because everyone thinks $11,000. But if you use it 40%,
Like half, say, yeah.
if you use it 50% for business, then you get 50% of the $11,000.
Okay.
So
So leasing
you
really
almost-
doesn't.
Yeah, it depends. Now, the only good thing maybe about leasing is when you sell it, you don't have to recapture all that depreciation that you've taken.
Right.
So
It depends.
it depends. It really depends, and you got to look at it. Now, if you are in business and you're going to lease a piece of equipment, let's say you're going to lease a copier, then you just got to look at both deals. If you bought it and had a loan for it, and what are your payments over 36 months versus a copier that you're going to lease, they just call it different terms, but you're still paying about the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look at the payment, look at how much you're paying for it.
Yep. Any last tip that you might have for us?
Last tip? Oh my gosh, I could keep.
Oh,
I only
yeah.
get one more?
I'll give you one more. We're up against the time thing
my
here.
gosh,
We have that
really?
producer Christian that really, I mean, he's,
Yeah. I just cut it off at 30 minutes.
Which would you, let's talk about, you want to talk about gifting or you want to talk about office and home?
Office and home might
Office
be
and
a
home.
Office
good
and home.
one.
Yeah, especially for
I have
realtors.
clients
Yeah,
that ask
that's
me
true.
about
Office and
this
home.
too.
Here's the deal in office and home. Office and home, you can only take office and home if you are not provided a place to work by your employer. So let's say you work for a broker dealer. Is it a broker dealer?
Broker agency,
A
broker,
broker
yeah,
agency.
yeah.
And you pay desk fees, which everyone pays desk fees. If you pay a desk fee, technically you have a place to land. You have a place, even if you're sharing it with people, you can't take office and home because they're providing you a place to sit and work. If they do not, and let's say you're on referral, or is it a referral agent or a remote
virtual agent,
a
a remote
virtual
agent.
agent, yes.
Yep.
There's a lot of online groups out there. Then you have office and home.
But the brokerage has to be remote or a virtual brokerage.
No, not always.
No.
So let's
Okay.
say you have an agency that puts you on referral or puts you on remote
Or virtual,
Even if they
yes.
have a spot in a town in an office, if you're not paying desk fees,
Okay.
or you're not provided a place to work, sometimes you are provided even a room where you can set up your
That's
computer.
why I ask, because there are many that have like a big collaborative room, an open area. So if they do have that and you're technically still virtual, you don't pay for an actual desk. As long as there's a space for you to work.
and it depends.
It depends.
But, you
So
know,
is the
we're-
lesson that if you're going to go virtual, you should not have a common area where people go? If you're a brokerage?
Oh, well, you don't want to just do that for tax purposes.
Well, I know, but I mean, in terms of for instance, would one big room,
Yeah.
would that count as a landing place? Or would
normally-
they have to have desks?
Normally, if you have a landing place like a collaborative room like that, we'd still take office and home because you're going to do the majority of your administrative work from home. But if you spend a substantial amount of time there and you're working from home for your benefit, which is the rule, are you working from home for your benefit or are you working from home for your employer's benefit? You can only take office and home if you're working from home for your employer's benefit.
Okay.
Like
So a
they've
meeting
sent you
space
home.
would be okay,
Yeah.
for example, common
Yep.
meeting space.
Yep.
Now, to go into the weeds a little more on that, because this is a common question at closings. If they were to deduct home office, I guess, if you will, when they go to sell their home, now do they have to file a 1099 and pay capital gains, is it?
You potentially have to recapture the depreciation that you've taken on your home. Now, to get around that, the IRS gave us a gift 4 or 5 years ago where they said, oh, instead of tracking actual expense on your home for home office, we can just take $5 a square foot.
Okay.
And if you take $5 a square foot, then you don't have all that recapture of depreciation. The IRS has already kind of done the work for you. They know. I mean, they've figured it out. What $5 a square foot is pretty much what you get to deduct. And if you don't deduct depreciation on your home, then you don't have to recapture.
Is there a maximum amount, percentage?
You can only take 300 square feet of your home.
Okay. Thank you. I have clients right now asking me these questions. I'm like, I'm not a CPA.
And
but
it doesn't have to be a specific room. It doesn't have to be a room that's shut off. It has
Okay.
to be an area that it's exclusively for business. But I just had a court case that came through the other day about a gal that wanted to use a nook in her kitchen, and they didn't allow it because she had other things around it, and it wasn't specifically for work. She couldn't show that it was.
Yeah. And I can see a nook as, I mean, granted, I can see people doing it physically, but I can see the argument against it. I think that's tough.
It was in the kitchen.
You'd want to
It's
have
too many things going on there.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so she could appeal it, but the court came through and said no.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of people want to use their dining room, and they do use their dining room, but as long as you there's nothing else in there, you don't do Christmas dinner, you don't, no. I don't know how the IRS knows all this, but
They're creepy.
Well,
They
most
are
people.
creepy.
I've heard that. Let me be sure. IRS, I love you personally. Just some people might think you'd be creepy. So if there's any bots listening on the podcast
They
right now,
seem
of
to
the
know.
2 or 3 that are listening right now, if one of them happens to be. So awesome. Thank you, Kim.
you're welcome.
Again, pearls, drops, wisdom. That you just
Wisdom.
rain
Yes.
down on us every single time. I would love to go on. We will absolutely have you back. Absolutely have you back again.
Great.
What are you doing
but
tomorrow?
No, it's next week. It's
Next week. I mean,
That's
sorry,
right.
next week.
Give me a
Yes.
chance to wash my clothes. For
That's right. Exactly. We're the same outfit. Where can people find you?
StorenFinancial.com.
Okay.
Website, Kim at StorenFinancial.com. Feel free to reach out to us or the phone number. No, does anyone call anymore? 317-852-7000.
Great.
We're in Zionsville and Brownsburg. We have 2 offices.
Fantastic. And they do a great job. Highly recommend them. Highly recommend them. Again, if you need we'll connect you too. If you everybody knows me. I mean,
Of course.
I'm Brian C.
I mean,
Lee. So,
hello.
I mean, you can always reach out to me.
You're like Johnny Cash.
That's right.
I mean, geez.
So closing out the episode, we have our quote of the episode. This one actually, Kim, you were giving me a hard time earlier. This one actually ties into the episode a little bit.
Oh.
Income, expenses, investing, and taxes are all part of the game of life. Learn how to play that game well, and you will succeed financially. That is something that I live by. Something that when we talk about this episode, we talk about living intentionally. Kim has shared with several good tips today. In the last episode, she shared several things. There are hundreds of other things. Guys, if you want to do better for yourself, if you want to be better financially, emotionally, psychologically, and just show your professionalism, learn how to play this game. It's something that I'm a big proponent of, that understanding this saves you money, saves you time, saves you hassle, and it's just a huge benefit. And so many people don't take advantage of learning how to work this thing. So learn how to do it. Get with a great CPA. I mean, this is where I've learned it. I had a great mentor right across the table from me here that helped me with that. I have great people that help me learn how to play that game. So learn how to play it and you're going to do great. Thank you again for coming onto the show. We would love your feedback. Listeners, all 5, we didn't even talk
Probably up
about
to 10 now, I'd say.
Are we up to 10?
Well, we got Lamont in Ontario.
Yeah, he's been a
And
long time
Sally
listener.
and
Sally in San Diego, that's
I remembered
two.
where she is now.
And we found out too that we actually have listeners in Australia. That is
We
absolutely
do. It is strange,
insane.
isn't it? Yeah.
And it was a relatively large number, but
Yeah.
And we talk about American tax law.
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome.
Tax,
You're welcome.
Indiana tax
Yeah.
law.
Indiana tax law.
So, but anyway, we love your feedback. If you have any questions, reach out to us. If you want to get in touch with Kim, reach out to me at brian@brianclee.com.
And a huge thank you to Mr. Jack-Jack for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever
There he is.
went.
He's on the overhead.
Yeah,
Oh,
right here.
there he is.
There he is.
Hi, buddy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us today, guys. Take care and have a legendary weekday everything. Life. Be good.
You've been listening to Real Estate Between the Lines with Brian Lee. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a legendary agent, be sure to visit us at brianclee.com and sign up to hear about upcoming workshops and events. Now go out there and turn your clients into raving fans.